The shocking betrayal. The message that shattered everything. Welcome to Heartfire Obsession. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. The text message glowed on Sophia's phone at 11:47 p.m. Your husband isn't working late. He's with me. He's been with me for 8 months. I thought you should know before you celebrate your anniversary tomorrow. Check the photo I sent. Sophia's hands trembled as she opened the attachment. There, in crystalline clarity, was Marcus, her Marcus, kissing a woman with auburn hair outside the Grandview Hotel. The timestamp read 3 hours ago. The same night he'd texted her saying he was stuck in a board meeting. The phone slipped from her fingers onto the silk bedspread. The room spun. 7 years of marriage. 7 years of believing in their love story. 7 years of defending him to her mother who'd warned her that Marcus Calloway was too charming, too smooth, too perfect to be trusted. Sophia had been 23 when they met at a charity gala. Marcus, already a rising star in commercial real estate at 28, had swept her off her feet with grand gestures and whispered promises. He'd proposed on a rooftop in Paris, married her in a vineyard at sunset, and built them a modern mansion overlooking Lake Michigan that appeared in architecture magazines. Everyone called them #relationship goals. But goals, Sophia realized as tears streamed down her face, were just illusions people chased while reality crumbled behind the filter. The woman in the shadows. Sophia didn't sleep. She couldn't. Instead, she sat in Marcus's home office, her eyes burning as she traced the unknown number. No name. No previous messages. Just that one devastating text. Who was this woman? And why reach out now, the night before their anniversary? At 6:15 a.m., she heard Marcus's car in the driveway. The automatic garage door hummed. His footsteps echoed through the marble foyer. Sophia stayed perfectly still in the leather chair, the office dimly lit by the desk lamp. Soph, you're up early. Marcus appeared in the doorway, his tie loosened, exhaustion written across his handsome features. Dark hair slightly disheveled. Those green eyes that had once made her believe in fairy tales now seemed like weapons of deception. She said nothing, just held up her phone with the photo displayed. The color drained from Marcus's face. His mouth opened, closed, opened again. Sophia? I can explain. Can you? Her voice was eerily calm. Too calm. The calm before a hurricane makes landfall. Please, Marcus. Explain how you've been sleeping with another woman for 8 months. Explain how every late meeting, every business trip, every time you said you loved me was actually a lie. He stepped forward. She stood, backing away. Don't you dare come closer. It's not what it looks like, he said, the most predictable words ever spoken by a cheating husband. Sophia laughed, a bitter, broken sound. It looks like you kissing someone who isn't your wife. What else could it possibly be? Marcus ran his hands through his hair, a gesture she'd once found endearing. Now it just looked like guilt. Her name is Vanessa. She works in my office. It started as just friendship. Then things got complicated. Complicated. Sophia repeated the word like it was poison. Our marriage got complicated because you decided to stick your tongue down your assistant's throat. She's not my assistant. She's the senior architect on the Riverside project. As if that mattered. As if the woman's job title made the betrayal any less devastating. How noble of you, Sophia said. You're an equal opportunity cheater. The anniversary gift. Marcus tried to approach her again. Sophia, please. I never meant to hurt you. It just happened. But it's over now. I ended it last week. I swear. You ended it? She stared at him in disbelief. Then why were you kissing her last night? He hesitated. That pause told her everything. You're lying, she whispered. Even now, caught red-handed, you're still lying to me. I'm trying to fix this. His voice rose, desperation bleeding through. Yes, I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But I love you, Sophia. I've always loved you. This thing with Vanessa, it was just physical. It didn't mean anything. Those words, it didn't mean anything, landed like acid on an open wound. Then why? Sophia's voice cracked. Why throw away 7 years for something that didn't mean anything? Why risk everything we built together? Marcus looked away, unable to meet her eyes. And in that moment, Sophia saw the truth he wouldn't speak. It had meant something. Maybe not love, but something. Excitement. Novelty. The thrill of someone new who looked at him without the weight of shared history, without knowing his flaws and failures. Get out, she said quietly. Sophia, get out. The scream tore from her throat, primal and raw. Get out of this house right now. This is my house too, he said, and immediately regretted it. Sophia smiled then, cold and dangerous. Actually, this house is in both our names. Which means legally, I have every right to be here. And morally, you have none. So I suggest you pack a bag and leave before I call every person we know and tell them exactly what kind of man you are. Marcus's jaw tightened. For a moment, she saw anger flash in his eyes. The mask slipping. You wouldn't. Try me. She picked up her phone. I'm sure your partners at the firm would love to know about your inappropriate relationship with a colleague. I'm sure your mother, who brags about her perfect son, would love to hear this story. I'm sure. Fine. He held up his hands in surrender. Fine. I'll stay at a hotel tonight. But we need to talk about this. Really talk. Not while you're this emotional. This emotional. As if her fury was irrational. As if discovering your husband's infidelity the night before your anniversary was somehow an overreaction. Sophia watched him leave the office, listened to him climb the stairs to their bedroom, heard drawers opening and closing. 20 minutes later, he came back down with a duffel bag. He paused at the door. I'm sorry, Sophia. I really am. I never wanted this to happen. She didn't respond. Didn't look at him. Just stared at the family photo on his desk, taken last Christmas, both of them smiling, his arm around her waist, her head on his shoulder. A beautiful lie captured in perfect focus. When the door closed behind him, Sophia finally let herself break. The investigation begins. 3 hours later, after crying until she had no tears left, Sophia sat at the kitchen island with her laptop and a determination made of steel and spite. If Marcus thought she'd just accept his apology and move on, he didn't know her at all. 7 years, and he'd never really seen her. Never understood that beneath the society wife exterior, beneath the charity galas and the perfect hostess smile, was a woman who'd graduated top of her class in business school before sacrificing her career for his. Sophia opened a private browser window and typed, Marcus Calloway Vanessa. The first result made her stomach drop. A LinkedIn profile, Vanessa Chun, senior architect at Calloway & Partners. Not just a colleague. Not just someone in his office. Someone who worked directly for him at the firm bearing his family name. Sophia clicked through Vanessa's photos. Beautiful. Sophisticated. Younger than Sophia by at least 5 years. In several images, she stood beside Marcus at company events. Their body language was careful, professional, but now Sophia saw what she'd missed before, the way Vanessa looked at him. The way he angled his body toward her. How long had this really been going on? 8 months, the text said. But what if that was a lie too? What if it had started earlier, hidden in plain sight at holiday parties and client dinners? Sophia's phone buzzed. Another text from the unknown number. I'm sorry I had to be the one to tell you. But you deserve to know. He told me you two barely spoke anymore. That the marriage was over in everything but name. I believed him. I'm sorry. Rage flooded through Sophia's veins. So that was the story Marcus had spun. That his wife was cold, distant, that their marriage was already dead. Classic cheater narrative. Make yourself the victim of a loveless relationship to justify the betrayal. She typed back. Who are you? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Someone who was stupid enough to fall for his lies too. Someone who just found out he's been telling both of us the same pretty words. I'm not the only other woman, Sophia. There's someone else. Someone he actually loves. The world tilted again. The deeper betrayal. Sophia stared at the message until the screen blurred. Not one affair. Multiple affairs. And somewhere in this twisted web, there was someone Marcus actually had feelings for. Her fingers moved across the keyboard before her brain could stop them. Tell me everything. The response came quickly, not over text. Can we meet? There's a coffee shop called The Grind on Morrison Street. Tomorrow, 10 a.m.? You deserve to know the whole truth. Every instinct screamed this was a trap. A setup. Maybe Marcus had orchestrated this somehow, though she couldn't fathom why. Maybe this woman was unhinged, dangerous. But Sophia had spent 7 years playing it safe, trusting blindly, believing in the fairy tale. Look where that had gotten her. She typed, I'll be there. The rest of the day passed in a haze. Sophia mechanically went through the motions, showering, dressing, pretending to eat. Her phone rang 17 times. Marcus. She ignored every call. His texts evolved from apologetic to frustrated to almost angry. You can't ignore me forever. We need to discuss this like adults. I made a mistake, but you're blowing this out of proportion. That last one made her laugh darkly. Blowing it out of proportion. As if there was a proportionate response to discovering your husband's double life. Her best friend, Rachel, called at 8 p.m. Sophia almost didn't answer, but Rachel was persistent, and Sophia needed to tell someone before she exploded. He what? Rachel's voice went up 3 octaves. That son of a... Sophia, I'm coming over. No, it's okay. It's not okay. Nothing about this is okay. I'm bringing wine and ice cream, and we're going to properly trash talk this man. 20 minutes later, Rachel arrived with 3 bottles of wine, a gallon of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, and a fury that matched Sophia's own. I never liked him, Rachel announced, pouring generous glasses of Cabernet. I know I never said it, but I always thought he was too smooth. Like a politician or a used car salesman. You came to our wedding, Sophia pointed out. Because I love you. Not him. Big difference. Rachel settled onto the couch beside her. So what's the plan? Divorce lawyer? Public humiliation? Arson? All of the above. Sophia tried to smile, but couldn't quite manage it. I don't know, Rach. I don't know anything anymore. I thought I knew him. I thought I knew us. He's the one who didn't know what he had, Rachel said fiercely. You're smart, beautiful, funny, kind. You could have any man you wanted. And he threw that away for some office fling? He's an idiot. Sophia took a long drink of wine. There might be more than one. The woman who texted me said there's someone else. Someone he actually cares about. Rachel's eyes went wide. Jesus. He's not just a cheater, he's a serial cheater. Sophia, you need to protect yourself. Financially, legally, all of it. Guys like Marcus? They don't play fair in divorces. I know. Sophia had been thinking about it all day. The house, the cars, the joint accounts, the investments. They'd built an empire together, though Marcus's name was on most of the paperwork. She'd been so trusting, so stupid. I'm meeting with the woman tomorrow. The one who sent the photo. What? What? Because I need to know the truth. All of it. Every ugly detail. Rachel looked worried. What if it's dangerous? What if she's crazy? Then I'll be crazy too, Sophia said. I'm done being the nice wife who looks the other way. I'm done being convenient. They stayed up until 2 a.m., drinking wine and dissecting every moment of Sophia's marriage for signs she'd missed. And there were signs, she realized. So many signs. The way Marcus's phone was always face down. The new password on his laptop. The business trips that seemed to multiply over the past year. The distance that had grown between them, which she'd attributed to stress, but now seemed deliberate. He'd been pulling away to make room for someone else. The coffee shop confession. The Grind was a small, independent coffee shop in a neighborhood Sophia rarely visited. She arrived 15 minutes early, ordered a latte she wouldn't drink, and chose a table in the back corner where she could see the door. At exactly 10 a.m., a woman walked in. Not the auburn-haired Vanessa from the photo. This woman was blonde, petite, probably in her early 30s. She wore a navy dress and minimal makeup, her eyes scanning the shop nervously. Their gazes met. The woman's expression flickered with something, guilt, pity, and she approached. Sophia? Her voice was soft, almost apologetic. That's me. Sophia gestured to the chair across from her. And you are? Emma. The woman sat down carefully, as if the chair might collapse. Emma Thornton. I work at Marcus's firm too. In accounting. Another colleague. Sophia's stomach churned. So this is a pattern with him. Hunting where he works. Emma flinched. I know how this looks. Believe me, I know. But I'm not. I wasn't his mistress. I'm not the one sleeping with him. Sophia's brow furrowed. Then why are you here? Why send me that text? Because someone needed to tell you the truth. Emma's hands wrapped around her coffee cup, knuckles white. And because I've been where you are. My ex-husband cheated on me for 2 years before I found out. If someone had warned me earlier, maybe I could have saved myself some of the pain. So this is charity? Sophia couldn't keep the bitterness from her voice. A good Samaritan helping the poor, ignorant wife? No. Emma met her eyes directly. This is revenge. The word hung in the air between them, electric and dangerous. Revenge against Marcus? Against all of them, Emma said quietly. Marcus, Vanessa, and the woman he really loves. They've been playing games with people's lives, and I'm done watching it happen. Sophia leaned forward. Tell me everything. The web of lies. Emma took a breath, then began. I've worked at Callaway and Partners for 3 years. Marcus hired me right after my divorce. He was kind, supportive, told me I deserved better than what my ex had done to me. I thought he was just a good boss. A good man. But he wasn't, Sophia said. No. He's very good at seeming like a good man. Emma's smile was sad. About a year ago, I started noticing things. Marcus and Vanessa were obvious once you knew what to look for. Closed-door meetings that ran long. Lunch breaks that synchronized. The way they looked at each other when they thought no one was watching. Why didn't you say something? Because it wasn't my business. And because... Emma hesitated. Because I didn't know about you. Not really. Marcus never wore a wedding ring at the office. He had photos of you in his office, but he told people you were separated. Basically divorced, just waiting to file the paperwork. Sophia's hands clenched into fists. That's not true. We were fine. Or I thought we were fine. I know that now, Emma said gently. But 6 months ago, I believed him. Everyone did. He's very convincing. So Vanessa thought she was dating a separated man. Exactly. Until about 2 months ago, when she overheard him on the phone with you, calling you sweetheart, making plans for some weekend getaway. She realized he'd lied to her. That you two weren't separated at all. And she stayed with him anyway. Sophia's voice dripped with disgust. Emma shook her head. She confronted him. He told her you knew about them. That you two had an open marriage. That it was complicated. More lies to cover the first lies. Vanessa wanted to believe him. She's in love with him, or thinks she is. But you said there's someone else. Someone he actually loves. Emma nodded slowly. Her name is Claire Ashworth. She's a divorce attorney. The irony wasn't lost on Sophia. They've been seeing each other for over a year, Emma continued. Maybe longer. She handles a lot of cases for Marcus's firm, prenups for wealthy clients, business dissolutions, that kind of thing. They met at some legal conference in New York. And unlike Vanessa, Claire knows Marcus is married. She doesn't care. How do you know all this? Sophia asked, her head spinning. Because I'm the one who does expense reports, Emma said. Hotel rooms billed to the company. Dinners for 2 at expensive restaurants. Flight records that don't match the business trips Marcus claimed he was taking. At first, I thought it was just sloppy bookkeeping. Then I put the pieces together. And the photo you sent? Of him and Vanessa. I took it last night. I followed him after work because I had a feeling. Sure enough, he went straight to meet her. They still see each other, despite whatever he told you. Emma pulled out her phone and opened her photo gallery. But here's what you really need to see. She turned the screen toward Sophia. More photos. Marcus and a striking brunette at a restaurant, holding hands across the table. Marcus and the same woman entering a luxury apartment building. Marcus and the woman kissing in the parking garage, his hands tangled in her dark hair. All the images were time-stamped within the last 2 weeks. Claire Ashworth, Emma said. The woman your husband actually loves. Or obsesses over. Whatever you want to call it. Sophia stared at the photos until they blurred. Why are you showing me this? What do you get out of it? Emma's expression hardened. Because Marcus isn't just a cheater. He's a predator. He uses his charm, his money, his position to manipulate women. He tells us all different stories, keeps us all separated so we never compare notes. And he does it because he can. Because no one's ever held him accountable. What happened to you? Sophia asked quietly. What did he do to you? Emma looked away. He didn't do anything to me personally. But last month, a young intern named Ashley quit suddenly. 22 years old, fresh out of college. She wouldn't say why, but I saw her crying in the bathroom one day. When I asked if she was okay, she said. Emma's voice caught. She said Marcus told her sleeping with him would help her career. When she refused, he made her life at the office hell. Impossible deadlines. Public criticism. She left because she couldn't take it anymore. Rage, pure, blinding rage, surged through Sophia. He sexually harassed an intern? I can't prove it, Emma said quickly. Ashley wouldn't file a complaint. She was afraid no one would believe her. Afraid it would ruin her career before it even started. And she was probably right. Marcus has lawyers, money, connections. She had nothing. But you believe her. I do, Emma said firmly. Because I've seen the way he operates. The charm offensive followed by the cold shoulder when he doesn't get what he wants. He's done it with vendors, clients, junior staff. People are just tools to him. Useful until they're not. Sophia sat back in her chair, her mind reeling. She'd married a stranger. 7 years sleeping beside a man she didn't know at all. What do you want me to do? She asked. Emma smiled, a sharp, dangerous smile. I want you to take him down. Sophia didn't go home after leaving the grind. Instead, she drove to Rachel's apartment, her mind racing with everything Emma had revealed. Marcus wasn't just unfaithful. He was calculating. A manipulator who built elaborate lies and maintained them with the same precision he used to design luxury properties. Rachel took one look at Sophia's face and pulled her inside. What happened? Sophia told her everything. Every sordid detail about Vanessa, Claire, the lies Marcus had told each woman, the intern he'd harassed. By the time she finished, Rachel was pacing the living room like a caged tiger. We're destroying him, Rachel announced. Completely and utterly destroying him. How? Sophia asked, though part of her already knew. Part of her had been forming a plan since Emma showed her those photos. First, we gather evidence. Everything Emma has, plus more. Bank records, credit card statements, emails if we can get them. Build an airtight case that he's not just a cheater, but a predator and a fraud. Then what? Then we hit him where it hurts most. Rachel's eyes gleamed. His reputation. His business. His money. Everything he values more than you. Sophia should have felt guilty about planning such calculated revenge. The old Sophia, the one who believed in working through problems and giving second chances, would have been horrified. But that Sophia died the moment she saw Marcus kissing another woman. This Sophia wanted blood. Following the money. Over the next 3 days, Sophia became a detective. She started with the easy stuff, their joint accounts. Marcus had always handled their finances, insisting she didn't need to worry about such tedious details. She'd trusted him, like a fool. Now, logged into their banking portal, she saw the truth. Regular transfers to a separate account she didn't recognize. Thousands of dollars each month, vanishing into what looked like a hole in their finances. She traced the account number through the bank's customer service line, claiming she couldn't remember which savings account this was. The representative cheerfully informed her it was a personal account belonging to Claire Ashworth, beneficiary designation added 8 months ago. Marcus had been financially supporting his mistress with their money. Money Sophia had helped earn through her own career before she gave it up for him. Money from the house they'd sold that her parents had helped them buy. Money that should have been building their future together. Instead, it was paying for Claire's luxury apartment. Sophia took screenshots of everything. Every transaction, every transfer, every suspicious payment. She organized them in a folder on her laptop labeled Home Renovation Ideas, innocent enough that Marcus wouldn't question it if he somehow gained access. Next, she called her father. Thomas Hartwell had built a successful accounting firm from nothing. He'd offered to help Sophia and Marcus with financial planning when they got married, but Marcus had politely declined, insisting he had it handled. Sophia should have listened to her father's barely concealed skepticism. Dad, she said when he answered, I need your help with something, and I need you not to ask questions until I'm ready to answer them. Sophia? What's wrong? You sound. I'm fine. I just need you to look at some financial records. Can you do that? There was a long pause. This is about Marcus, isn't it? Tears stung her eyes. Yes. Email me everything. Her father said, his voice hard. Everything you have access to. I'll have my forensic accountant look at it. You have a forensic accountant? I have a forensic accountant who specializes in hidden assets during divorce proceedings, Thomas said. And before you ask, yes, I've been keeping his number handy since you got married. I had a feeling about that man. Dad, email me the documents, sweetheart. We'll talk after I know what we're dealing with. The confrontation with Vanessa. Emma had given Sophia Vanessa's personal cell number. In case you want to compare notes, she'd said. Sophia stared at the number for 2 days before finally texting. We need to talk. About Marcus. The response came within minutes. Who is this? His wife. No response for 20 minutes. Then, there's nothing to say. You're sleeping with my husband. I think there's plenty to say. Another long pause. He told me you two were done. He lied. We're very much still married. Still living together. Still sleeping in the same bed. That last part was a lie, but Vanessa didn't need to know that. You're lying. Sophia felt her temper flare. She opened her photos, selected one of her and Marcus from 2 weeks ago at a charity gala, his arm around her waist, both smiling for the camera, and sent it. Does this look like we're done? The three dots appeared and disappeared several times. Finally, I want to meet. They arranged to meet at a wine bar in the city, neutral territory. Sophia arrived first, ordering a glass of Pinot Grigio she nursed while waiting. Vanessa arrived 10 minutes late, her auburn hair perfect, her expression guarded. She was even more beautiful in person, which somehow made everything worse. They stared at each other across the small table. "I don't know what you want me to say," Vanessa finally said. "I didn't know he was lying. I thought you two were separated." "When exactly did you think that?" Sophia asked, keeping her voice level. "When he was wearing his wedding ring. When he went home to me every night. When he planned our anniversary trip to Costa Rica." Vanessa's face paled. "Anniversary trip? Next month. Already booked." He even showed me the resort brochure. It was satisfying to watch Vanessa's confident facade crack. "He told me he ended things with you," Vanessa said, her voice smaller now. "2 months ago. He said you two agreed to divorce, but were waiting for the right time to announce it publicly. Let me guess. He said it was because of his business image? His family's reputation?" Vanessa nodded slowly. "All lies," Sophia said. "We never agreed to anything. I had no idea you existed until 3 days ago, when someone sent me a photo of you two kissing." "Who sent it?" "Someone who's tired of watching Marcus destroy lives." Vanessa took a long drink of her wine. "This is humiliating. For you." Sophia's laugh was sharp. "Try being the wife who got cheated on while everyone probably whispered behind her back at company parties." "I never went to company parties with him," Vanessa said quietly. "He said it would be inappropriate until the divorce was finalized. I stayed away from anything public." Because he was hiding her, Sophia realized. Compartmentalizing his lies so they wouldn't intersect and explode. "Are you in love with him?" Sophia asked. Vanessa looked away. "I was. Or I thought I was. Now I don't know what I feel." "There's someone else," Sophia said. "Another woman. Her name is Claire. Did you know about her?" The shock on Vanessa's face was answer enough. "He's seeing her too. Has been for over a year, apparently. She's a divorce attorney." Sophia pulled out her phone and showed Vanessa the photos Emma had provided. Vanessa stared at the images, her hand trembling. "That's from last week. I was with him last week. He said he had to go to a client dinner. Instead, he went to her." Vanessa set down her wine glass before she dropped it. "How many others are there?" "I don't know," Sophia admitted. "But I'm going to find out." They sat in silence for a moment. Two women who should have been enemies but were really just victims of the same man's manipulation. "What are you going to do?" Vanessa asked. Sophia met her eyes. "I'm going to take everything from him. His reputation, his business, his money, everything he cares about more than the women he's hurt." "How?" "I'm still working on the details. But I'll need help. Evidence. Testimony from people he's wronged." Vanessa considered this. "I have emails. Texts. He sent me things about projects at work, insider information about deals that were coming together. Some of it might violate confidentiality agreements." "Keep them safe," Sophia said. "I'll let you know when I need them." Vanessa nodded slowly. "For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I never wanted to be the other woman. I thought I was different. Special." "We all did," Sophia said. "That's what makes him so dangerous." The lawyer's gambit. Finding the right divorce attorney was crucial. Sophia couldn't just hire anyone. She needed someone who knew Marcus's reputation, someone who'd be motivated to take him down. She called Emma for a recommendation. "There's a woman named Patricia Volkov," Emma said. "She's represented 3 women in divorces against partners at Marcus's firm. Won all 3 cases. Crushed them, actually. Got her clients everything." "Is she good?" "She's terrifying," Emma said with something like admiration. "And she hates men who abuse their power." Patricia Volkov's office was in a sleek downtown high-rise. Her assistant showed Sophia into a conference room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Patricia entered 5 minutes later, 50s, silver hair cut in a sharp bob, eyes that could dissect you with a glance. "Mrs. Calloway," she said, shaking Sophia's hand with a grip like iron. "I've been expecting your call." "You have." Word travels in legal circles, especially when it involves Marcus Calloway. Patricia sat across from her, opening a leather portfolio. "I'm aware of his reputation. The affairs, the harassment, the financial games. So let's skip the part where you tell me your marriage is in trouble and get straight to what you want." Sophia liked her immediately. "I want to divorce him," she said. "And I want him to lose everything." Patricia smiled. Good. Because I've been waiting for someone with the spine to actually go after him. His first wife was too scared. Settled for peanuts. But you don't strike me as the settling type. First wife. Sophia's blood went cold. You didn't know? Patricia's eyebrow arched. Marcus was married before. 8 years ago. Marriage lasted 11 months. She filed for divorce, citing adultery. He paid her off to keep quiet, made her sign an NDA. Officially, the records say irreconcilable differences. Sophia felt like she'd been punched. He told me I was his first. His only. Men like Marcus rewrite history to suit their narrative. Patricia said matter-of-factly. Now, let's talk about what we can prove. Do you have access to financial records? Sophia showed her everything she'd gathered. The bank transfers to Claire. The credit card statements showing hotel rooms and expensive dinners. The suspicious business expenses that didn't match his calendar. Patricia reviewed it all with the focus of a surgeon examining x-rays. This is good, she said finally. Very good. He's been sloppy. Arrogant. Thought he'd never get caught. She looked up at Sophia. But this is just the beginning. If we're going to really hurt him, we need more than proof of infidelity. We need to destroy his professional reputation. How? The intern. Ashley. If we can get her to go on record about the harassment, we can file not just for divorce, but for criminal charges. Sexual harassment. Possibly workplace coercion. She'll never do it, Sophia said. She's terrified. Then we find others. Men like Marcus don't stop at one victim. There will be more. We find them, we build a pattern, and we bury him. The unexpected ally. That night, Sophia received an email from an address she didn't recognize. Concerned colleague 2024@protonmail.com. The subject line read, "You're not the only one seeking justice." Sophia hesitated before opening it. Could be spam. Could be a trap. She clicked anyway. "Mrs. Calloway, my name is David Chun. I work at your husband's firm in project management. I've heard rumors that you're gathering evidence against Marcus. I want to help. He's been stealing credit for my work for 2 years, blocking my promotions, and threatening my job when I pushed back. I have documents that prove he's been defrauding clients, inflating project costs, and pocketing the difference. If you're building a case against him, I can provide evidence that will destroy his business. Reply if interested. David." Sophia stared at the screen. Another victim. Another person Marcus had used and discarded. She hit reply. "I'm interested. When can we meet?" The response was immediate. "Tomorrow. 7 p.m. Riverside Park, South Entrance. Come alone. I can't risk being seen with you publicly." She forwarded the email to Patricia Volkov with a note. "Is this legitimate? Or am I walking into an ambush?" Patricia called within minutes. "I know David Chun. He's worked at Calloway and Partners for 4 years. Good reputation, no red flags. If he says he has evidence of fraud, I believe him. Should I meet him?" "Yes, continue 10:28. But I'm sending my investigator to shadow you from a distance. Just in case." The next evening, Sophia arrived at Riverside Park as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. David Chun was waiting on a bench near the water, mid-30s, Asian, wearing a windbreaker and looking nervous. "Mrs. Calloway?" He stood as she approached. "Sophia," she said. "Just Sophia." They walked slowly along the path while David explained. "I started noticing discrepancies about 18 months ago. Projects that went over budget, but the extra money never made it back to the firm or the clients. It just disappeared." "How much money?" "Conservatively, $2 million over the past 2 years. Maybe more." Sophia stopped walking. $2 million? Marcus has been systematically overbilling clients and siphoning funds into personal accounts. He's good at hiding it. Layers of shell companies, offshore accounts, transactions spread out over time. But I'm good at finding patterns. And I found his. Why didn't you report it?" David's jaw tightened. "I tried. I went to the other partners. They told me I must be mistaken. That Marcus was above reproach. When I pushed harder, I got demoted. My bonus got cut. Marcus started assigning me impossible projects with unrealistic deadlines, setting me up to fail. So you kept quiet." "Until now," David said. "I heard through the office grapevine that you're planning to divorce him, that you're not settling quietly. So I'm offering you this." He handed her a USB drive. "Everything I've found. Bank records, emails, client files. Enough to prove fraud and embezzlement. Sophia took the drive carefully. This could send him to prison. Good, David said simply. He deserves worse. Claire makes her move. 3 days later, Sophia received a phone call from a number she didn't recognize, but that Emma had warned her about. Claire Ashworth. Mrs. Calloway. The woman's voice was smooth, confident. I think it's time we talked. About how you've been sleeping with my husband for over a year? Among other things. Claire's tone didn't waver. I'm at Café Noir on 5th Street. Meet me in 30 minutes. And if I don't, then you'll miss an opportunity to understand what's really happening. Your choice. The call ended. Sophia sat frozen, her mind racing. This was bold, even for a mistress. Claire wasn't hiding, wasn't apologizing. She was demanding a meeting like she had leverage. Sophia called Patricia. Claire Ashworth just called me. She wants to meet. Don't go alone, Patricia said immediately. This woman is a divorce attorney. She knows exactly what she's doing. If you meet with her, she'll try to manipulate you, get information, maybe even record the conversation. So what do? You go, but you wear a wire, and you let her dig her own grave. 35 minutes later, Sophia walked into Café Noir. Claire was easy to spot, stunning brunette in her late 30s, designer suit, the kind of woman who looked like she'd never lost anything in her life. Sophia. Claire gestured to the chair across from her. Thank you for coming. Cut the pleasantries, Sophia said, sitting down. What do you want? Claire smiled. Direct. I like that. Marcus said you were passive, but I'm starting to think he underestimated you. He's underestimated a lot of things. Indeed. Claire sipped her espresso. I'm going to be blunt. Marcus and I are in love. Have been for over a year. He's planning to divorce you and marry me. Sophia's heart lurched, but she kept her expression neutral. Is that what he told you? It's what's happening. The only reason he hasn't filed yet is because of his business. He needs to protect his assets before the split. But it's coming. Probably within the next few months. And you're telling me this because? Because I want to make you an offer, Claire said, leaning forward. Walk away quietly. Accept a reasonable settlement. Say, $2 million and the house. In exchange, this stays out of the public eye. No ugly courtroom battles. No scandals that could damage Marcus's firm or your own reputation. You want me to take a payoff and disappear? I want you to be smart, Claire said. Fight this and you'll lose. Marcus has the best lawyers money can buy, including me. He'll tie you up in court for years, drain your resources, make your life miserable. Or you can take what I'm offering and move on with dignity intact. Sophia pretended to consider this. $2 million and the house. That's your offer. It's generous, considering the prenup you signed. The prenup I signed when Marcus told me it was just a formality his family required. When he promised me it wouldn't matter because we'd never divorce. Naive of you to believe that, Claire said with a cold smile. Maybe, Sophia admitted. But here's the thing, Claire. I'm not naive anymore. She pulled out her phone and opened the photos Emma had provided. Images of Marcus with Claire, with Vanessa, with others. She slid the phone across the table. I know about all of you, Sophia said quietly. Every affair, every lie. And I have proof. Not just photos. Bank records. Emails. Testimony from people he's harassed and defrauded. Claire's confident expression faltered for the first time. So here's my counteroffer, Sophia continued. Walk away from Marcus. In whatever you think you have with him. Because when I'm done, he'll have nothing left. No money. No business. Possibly a prison sentence. And you, as his accomplice in moving marital assets, could face charges too. You're bluffing. Am I? Sophia stood up. You're a divorce attorney, Claire. You know how this works. You've seen it happen to other men who thought they were untouchable. The difference is, most wives don't have forensic accountants for fathers and allies willing to testify. I do. So think carefully about which side you want to be on when this whole thing collapses. She left Claire sitting there, for once in her life looking uncertain. The recording device Patricia's investigator had given her had captured everything. Word spread quickly through Marcus's circle. The women he'd hurt began finding each other, drawn together by a shared desire for justice. Emma organized the first meeting at her apartment. 5 women, each with their own story of manipulation and betrayal. There was Sophia, of course. Vanessa, who'd realized she was just another chess piece in Marcus's game. Ashley, the intern, who'd finally agreed to speak out after learning she wasn't alone. A woman named Jennifer who'd been Marcus's mistress 3 years ago before he'd abruptly ended things and ghosted her. And surprisingly, Marcus's first wife, Lauren, who'd broken her NDA because, as she said, some things are more important than money. They sat in Emma's living room, sharing stories, comparing lies, piecing together the full picture of Marcus Calloway's decade-long pattern of emotional and financial abuse. He told me I was special, Jennifer said, her voice bitter. That he'd never felt this way about anyone. Then one day, nothing. Blocked my number. Acted like I didn't exist. He told me the same thing, Vanessa admitted. Said I was different from his wife. That Sophia was cold and distant. Sophia felt the sting but pushed it aside. He told Claire that I was passionless, that our marriage was dead. He rewrites reality to justify whatever he wants to do. Lauren, the first wife, spoke up. He did the same to me. When I found out about his affair, he made it seem like it was my fault. Said I'd let myself go, that I wasn't supportive of his ambitions. Made me believe the divorce was what I wanted, even though he was the one who destroyed everything. He's a narcissist, Ashley said quietly. Everyone turned to her. She'd been mostly silent, her trauma still fresh. I took a psychology class in college. We studied personality disorders. Marcus fits every criterion for narcissistic personality disorder. The charm, the manipulation, the lack of empathy, the way he discards people once they're no longer useful. Textbook case, Emma agreed. And narcissists like him rarely change. They just get better at hiding what they are. Patricia Volkov, who'd been invited to oversee the meeting, cleared her throat. Ladies, this is all valuable context. But if we're going to take him down, we need a coordinated strategy. Individual lawsuits won't be enough. We need to hit him from every angle simultaneously. Legal, professional, and public. What's the plan? Sophia asked. Patricia smiled. We destroy him methodically. Here's how it works. She laid out a three-pronged approach. First, Sophia would file for divorce, citing adultery and financial misconduct. Simultaneously, Ashley would file a sexual harassment lawsuit against Marcus and the firm. David Chin would report the embezzlement to the State Bar Association and the police. Finally, they'd leak everything to the media, carefully, strategically, with just enough information to create a scandal, but not enough to compromise the legal cases. It'll be a firestorm, Patricia warned. Marcus will fight back. He'll hire private investigators. He'll try to discredit all of you. He'll make this ugly. Let him try, Lauren said. I stayed quiet 8 years ago. I won't make that mistake again. The others nodded in agreement. They were done being silent. The first strike. Marcus was served with divorce papers on a Wednesday morning at his office. Sophia had insisted on that. She wanted his colleagues to see it happening, wanted the veneer of perfection to crack publicly. The process server found him in a meeting with potential investors. 20 minutes later, Sophia's phone rang. Marcus. She let it go to voicemail. He called 17 more times over the next hour. Each call went unanswered. Finally, he showed up at the house. Sophia watched through the window as he parked in the driveway, his movements sharp with anger. She'd changed the locks that morning. His key didn't work. He pounded on the door. Sophia? Open up. We need to talk about this. She opened the door, but left the chain lock engaged. There's nothing to talk about. You'll hear from my lawyer. Your lawyer? This is insane. We can work this out. Like you work things out with Vanessa? Or Claire? Or Jennifer? Or your first wife? His face went pale. You? How did you? I know everything, Marcus. Every lie. Every affair. Every dollar you've stolen. Every person you've hurt. And now everyone else is about to know too. You're making a mistake, he said, his voice low and dangerous. I have resources you can't imagine. Lawyers who'll make your life hell. Investigators who'll find every embarrassing secret you've ever had. Do your worst, Sophia said. Because I've already done mine. She closed the door and locked it. Through the window, she watched him stand there for a long moment before finally leaving, his confidence visibly shaken. That afternoon, Ashley filed her lawsuit. The firm's HR department went into panic mode. Marcus was suspended pending investigation. By evening, the first media reports appeared online. Prominent real estate developer accused of workplace harassment and infidelity. Wife files for divorce amid embezzlement allegations. Sophia's phone exploded with messages. Friends, family, acquaintances she hadn't spoken to in years. Everyone wanted to know if it was true. She ignored them all except for Rachel, who showed up with champagne. First blood, Rachel said, pouring 2 glasses. How does it feel? Terrifying, Sophia admitted. Like I've started something I can't control. You haven't started anything. Marcus started this years ago. You're just finishing it. They clinked glasses and drank. The counterattack. Marcus hired a crisis management team within 24 hours. Suddenly, articles started appearing painting Sophia as a vindictive, jealous wife trying to destroy a successful man. Anonymous sources claimed she'd been emotionally unstable for years, that she'd refused to support Marcus's career, that the marriage had been troubled long before any alleged affairs. Patricia warned her this would happen. They'll try to discredit you, make you seem unreliable, emotional, maybe even mentally ill. Standard playbook for powerful men caught in scandals. So what do? We stay calm. We don't engage. And we release the evidence piece by piece, forcing them to keep playing defense. The first major revelation came when David Chin's fraud allegations hit the news. $2 million in missing client funds, offshore accounts, shell companies. Suddenly, Marcus wasn't just a cheater, he was a criminal. The firm's other partners quickly distanced themselves. Mr. Calloway's alleged actions were undertaken without the knowledge or consent of the firm. We are cooperating fully with authorities. Translation: Marcus was being thrown under the bus by the very people who'd protected him for years. The second blow came from Lauren, the first wife. She gave an interview to a major newspaper, breaking her NDA and detailing Marcus's pattern of abuse and infidelity. The article was devastating, a portrait of a man who'd been destroying lives for over a decade. Marcus tried to sue Lauren for breaking the NDA. His lawyers quickly discovered that NDAs don't hold up in criminal proceedings, and with the fraud investigation underway, everything was fair game. The third strike came from Vanessa. She provided emails proving Marcus had shared confidential client information with her, a massive breach of professional ethics. The State Bar Association opened an investigation. His law license was at risk. Watching it all unfold, Sophia felt something she hadn't expected: pity. Not for Marcus. He'd earned everything coming to him, but for the man she'd thought she married. That man had never existed. She'd fallen in love with a carefully constructed illusion, and mourning that illusion felt absurd but necessary. You okay? Rachel asked one evening as they watched another news segment about the scandal. I don't know, Sophia said honestly. I wanted him to face consequences. And he is. But I didn't expect it to feel so empty. Yeah, that's because revenge doesn't actually heal anything, Rachel said gently. It's justice. It's necessary. But it doesn't erase what he did to you. Then what will? Time. Therapy. Building a life that's actually yours instead of a reflection of someone else's lies. Sophia nodded, knowing Rachel was right, but not quite ready to accept it. The trial of public opinion. The media frenzy intensified. Think pieces appeared analyzing toxic masculinity in high-powered industries. Marcus became a symbol, the handsome, successful man who'd weaponized his charm. Women across the country shared their own stories of being manipulated by similar men. Marcus tried to give an interview defending himself. It went disastrously. He came across as arrogant, dismissive of the women accusing him, and completely lacking in self-awareness. The backlash was swift and brutal. I never meant to hurt anyone, he said at one point in the interview, his practiced sincerity falling flat. These are complicated situations being reduced to sound bites. The interviewer pressed. 6 different women have come forward with remarkably consistent stories of manipulation and deceit. Are they all lying? I'm not saying anyone is lying. I'm saying that relationships are complex, that there are always 2 sides to every story. What's your side? Marcus hesitated, a fatal pause that made him look guilty. I made mistakes. I'm human. But the way this has been characterized, as if I'm some kind of predator, is deeply unfair. The interview ended his remaining support. Even people who'd been willing to give him the benefit of the doubt turned against him. Sophia watched the interview with a mix of satisfaction and disgust. He still didn't get it. Still thought he was the victim. The narcissism ran so deep, he couldn't see his own monstrosity. The financial reckoning. The divorce proceedings moved quickly once the criminal investigations validated Sophia's claims. Patricia had been right. Marcus's sloppiness worked in their favor. The forensic accounting revealed not just the transfers to Claire, but dozens of other financial improprieties. Assets hidden in family members' names. Property purchased through shell corporations. Investment accounts Sophia had known nothing about. The total marital estate is worth approximately $18 million, Patricia told her during a meeting. And you're entitled to half. Plus, given the fraud and the fact that he used marital funds to support his affairs, we're arguing for more. How much more? I think we can get you $12 million. Maybe 13 if the judge is particularly offended by his conduct. Sophia's head spun. She'd known Marcus was successful, but she hadn't realized the extent of his wealth, much of it hidden from her deliberately. He'll never agree to that, she said. He doesn't have a choice. The evidence is overwhelming. He either settles or this goes to trial, and a trial will destroy what little reputation he has left. His lawyers know that. The settlement negotiations were brutal. Marcus fought every line item, tried to claim various assets were his separate property, attempted to argue that Sophia had contributed nothing to his success. Patricia destroyed those arguments methodically. Mrs. Calloway gave up her career to support your ambitions, hosted clients at your home, attended countless networking events on your behalf, maintained the household that allowed you to focus on your business. Her contributions are undeniable. In the end, Marcus settled. $12 million, the house, her car, and a portion of his future earnings from projects she'd helped secure. It was more money than Sophia had ever imagined having. It was also a hollow victory. Money couldn't undo the betrayal, couldn't restore the 7 years she'd lost, couldn't make her trust anyone ever again. The criminal consequences. The embezzlement charges proceeded independently of the divorce. The state's attorney had a strong case. David Chin's evidence, combined with the firm's own financial records, painted a clear picture of systematic fraud. Marcus tried to claim the missing money had gone to business expenses, legitimate costs that had been miscategorized. His lawyers tried every legal maneuver to dismiss the charges. None of it worked. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Sophia attended every day, sitting in the back of the courtroom, watching Marcus's empire collapse in real time. The prosecution called witness after witness. David Chun, the firm's accountant, clients who'd been overcharged, banking experts who traced the money to Marcus's personal accounts. The defense had nothing. No credible explanation. No exculpatory evidence. Just Marcus on the stand, trying to charm a jury that wasn't buying it. Mr. Calloway, the prosecutor said during cross-examination, you've admitted that approximately $2 million of client funds ended up in your personal accounts. How do you explain that? Accounting errors, Marcus said smoothly. The firm was growing rapidly. Things got complicated. Mistakes were made. Mistakes that benefited only you. I intended to return the funds. I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. In 2 years, Marcus's jaw tightened. As I said, things were complicated. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing came 2 months later. 8 years in federal prison. Restitution to the defrauded clients. Disbarment. The complete destruction of everything Marcus had built. Sophia wasn't in the courtroom for the sentencing. She'd moved on by then, literally. She'd sold the mansion, donated half her settlement to organizations supporting survivors of domestic abuse and workplace harassment, and bought a small cottage in Vermont. She heard about the sentence from Patricia, who called with the news. 8 years, Patricia said. He'll serve at least 5 with good behavior. Good, Sophia said, and meant it. How are you doing? Really? Sophia looked out the window of her cottage at the mountains in the distance. I'm healing. Slowly. Some days are better than others. That's all anyone can ask for. The aftermath. A year passed. Then another. The media moved on to other scandals. Marcus Calloway became a cautionary tale, a reference point in articles about narcissistic abuse and white-collar crime. The women he'd hurt moved on with their lives. Ashley finished her degree and started her own architecture firm. Jennifer wrote a memoir about surviving emotional manipulation. Lauren remarried, this time to someone who actually deserved her. Vanessa left the architecture field entirely, becoming a therapist specializing in helping women recover from abusive relationships. Emma stayed at the firm, which had been restructured and renamed, and eventually became a partner. And Sophia? She opened a bookstore in her small Vermont town. Nothing fancy, just a cozy space with carefully curated selections and a coffee bar where locals gathered to talk. She dated occasionally, but wasn't in a rush. Trusting someone enough for a real relationship would take time. Maybe years. Maybe forever. She was okay with that. One afternoon, about 3 years after the divorce, a man came into the bookstore. Late 30s, kind eyes, a little awkward in the way of people who were genuinely shy rather than performing shyness. "I'm looking for a birthday present," he said. "For my sister. She likes mysteries." Sophia smiled. A real smile, the first one in a long time that didn't feel practiced. "I can help with that." His name was Daniel. He was a veterinarian in the next town over. He'd never been married. Had no interest in games or manipulation. Was refreshingly, almost alarmingly honest about everything. They had coffee, then dinner, then more dinners. He knew about her past. The scandal had been national news, but he didn't treat her like damaged goods. Didn't ask intrusive questions. Just let her be whoever she was in the present moment. "Can I ask you something?" he said one evening as they walked along a hiking trail near her cottage. "Sure. Do you ever regret it? Going after him so hard?" Sophia thought about it. Really thought about it. "No," she said finally. "He hurt a lot of people. Someone had to stop him. I'm just glad I had the resources and support to do it." "You're brave," Daniel said. "I'm stubborn," Sophia corrected. "There's a difference." He laughed. "I'll take stubborn." They kept walking as the sun set behind the mountains, and for the first time in years, Sophia felt something she'd thought Marcus had destroyed forever. Hope. Full circle. 5 years after the divorce, Sophia received a letter. Prison mail. Marcus's handwriting. She almost threw it away unopened. Almost. Instead, she sat in her bookstore after closing, a cup of tea beside her, and opened it. "Dear Sophia, I know I have no right to contact you. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but my therapist here suggested I write letters to people I've harmed. Not to ask for forgiveness, I don't deserve that, but to take accountability. You were right about everything. The affairs, the lies, the manipulation. I was a monster, and I didn't even realize it. Or maybe I did realize it, and just didn't care. I've had a lot of time to think in here. About who I was. About the damage I caused. About all the lives I destroyed because I was too selfish and broken to see anyone as real, except myself. I don't expect you to forgive me. I haven't even forgiven myself. But I wanted you to know that you did the right thing. Stopping me. Holding me accountable. Maybe I can be better when I get out. Maybe not. But either way, you saved other people from suffering what you went through. That matters. I hope you found happiness. Real happiness. You deserved it all along. I was just too blind to see what I had. Marcus." Sophia read the letter 3 times. Looking for manipulation. For hidden meanings. For the trap she'd learned to expect. She found none. Just words from a broken man who'd finally realized he was broken. She didn't write back. Didn't need to. The letter wasn't really for her anyway. It was for him. Part of his process. She folded it carefully, put it in her desk drawer, and locked it away. Then she went home to Daniel, who was cooking dinner in her kitchen, singing off-key to a song on the radio, being exactly who he claimed to be. That night, lying in bed, Daniel asleep beside her, Sophia thought about revenge and justice and healing. She'd gotten all 3 in their own time. Marcus had lost everything. His freedom, his reputation, his carefully constructed life. But more importantly, she'd found something. Herself. Not the woman she'd been before Marcus, and not the woman he'd tried to mold her into. Someone new. Someone stronger. Someone who'd survived betrayal and come out the other side with her humanity intact. That, she realized, was the real revenge. Not his suffering, but her survival. Not his destruction, but her reconstruction. She fell asleep smiling. Epilogue. Years later. 10 years after the scandal, Sophia's bookstore had become a beloved institution in her small town. She'd expanded it, added an events space, hosted book clubs, and author readings. She'd married Daniel 5 years ago in a simple ceremony attended by close friends and family. No grand gestures. No fairy tale promises. Just 2 people choosing each other honestly. They had a daughter now, 3 years old, wild and funny and completely fearless in the way children are before the world teaches them to be afraid. Sometimes, rarely, someone recognized Sophia from the news coverage all those years ago. Usually, they didn't mention it. Occasionally, a woman would approach her quietly, thank her for speaking out, share their own story of surviving a narcissist. Sophia listened, offered resources, sometimes just a hug. Marcus got out of prison after 6 years. She heard through Emma that he'd moved to another state, taken a job as a real estate agent under a different name. He'd never try to contact her again after that one letter.